Hi all, a very good afternoon. Thank you for having taken the time to join me in today's workshop. This is Jay, your presenter for the day and product expert from the AD Solutions team here at ManageEngine. First things first, before we get into today's session, for those of you who want to try out the features or try out the steps as I demonstrate today, you can make use of the cloud instance. You can very well do that. And you can check out the features as I'm demonstrating today. And how can you do that? Pretty simple. All you'll have to do is log in to demo.admanagerplus.com, demo.admanagerplus.com. So that's going to be the URL that's going to come in handy if you'd want to try out the product in today's session. So 3, 2, 1, and on your screen. So that's going to be the URL that you'll be having to use to check the features out. All right. So simple. Make sure that you also log in as the administrator when you're using this specific cloud instance. And if in case you want to say try how delegation works, take a look at the product from a technician's point of view. That again is going to be possible. All you'll have to do is log in as the technician. Administrator for the entire access, technician for the limited access. So that's about the cloud instance that we have hosted for you, demo at admanagerplus.com. Okay, so that is done. What about questions coming up? Do not worry at all. In case you have any questions coming up, feel free to shoot them right at me then and there, and I'll try taking the questions during the presentation. Not a problem. Maybe if we miss out on one or two, do not worry. Rest assured, towards the end of the session, we will have them all taken. All right, so that's going to be a deal. And yeah, a recording of this session can be emailed to you if you want me to. Towards the end of the presentation, just drop me a simple message with your email ID and I'll have the video inboxed right to you. Okay, so we are all set, and today's webinar is going to be on catching up with what's new in ADManager Plus. So this webinar is dedicated and pointed towards all of you guys who've been using ADManager Plus day in, day out for your AD management needs, for your AD reporting, delegation, automation, and workflow, all critical features from ADManager Plus. For all of you who've been using the product all this long, what we thought was it'd be really nice if you get on board with the latest features in ADManager Plus, the ones that have been released in the last 6 months. So we put together all those critical and at the same time important features that we thought you should be knowing to make better use of the product. All right, so let's quickly get into the agenda for today's webinar. Yes, like the title goes, we are going to be talking about what's new in the product. Just giving you a quick introduction of what ADManager Plus can do. All right, this is my instance. Like I already told you, you can access the cloud instance if you want to try out the features, or you can also use your local setup to try out. First things first, you have to make sure that the latest version of ADManager Plus is installed. All right, you can do that from this specific option that's right here. Check for the latest version of ADManager Plus. The webinar is dedicated for all the new features. For the new features to work, it's important that you download the latest feature and have it installed. Yes, so like you already must be familiar, we are here at the dashboard view. Yes, the dashboard view, like gives you a quick overview as to what's the environment's condition. Say, for example, you've got inactive users in your organization. Do you really need to run reports? Not really. What you can do is you can actually take a quick sneak peek into all those critical data right from the very start, right from the very first loading screen of the application, which is the dashboard view. That's right here. So this is going to be your quick finder. It's going to be giving you a sneak peek on what's what, things like user reports, system reports, all of it in place. And when it comes to AD management, this is going to be the module from where we'll be taking everything that's pertaining to, say, for example, user management, computer management, even Office 365 management, and your file server management. So all of the critical management tasks that can be performed through the application are going to be a part of this module right here, be it your entire user life cycle management. All right, entire user life cycle management, I mean, right from creating users to going about to modifying them, yes, to deprovisioning them, all of them from AD Management Console. And from AD reports, we will be taking a deep dive into the new reports that have been additionally included to the product, not just AD reports, but also Office 365 reports. Yes, the ones that have been recently added. Like you must already been using a lot of reports, things like your inactive reports, things like your group membership reports, yes, and password reports, whatnot. So all of this, close to 150 plus pre-packaged reports for different reporting scenarios under your reporting tabs. From delegation, secured delegation is the crux of our methodology. That's what we offer. You get to create help desk roles and have them assigned to technicians. And rest assured, you are going to have a secure AD environment without granting excess access. That's about AD delegation, creating roles and having them mapped. And then when it comes to workflow, simple ticket based request review approval system. So it's going to be hierarchical, moving from one stage to another, tickets flowing this way. And again, automation, as the name implies, all those AD management tasks that you perform manually, starting from user creation, things like user cleanup, all of that can be scheduled and automated as per your convenience. And the best part is, if in case you want a human element involved, you can also integrate automation with workflow on the flow, on the go. Yes. So that's a quick overview as to what the product can do. Getting into today's topic, catching up with what's new in the product. All right, so let's start off with the first topic for today's session. There are close to 10 important topics that we've put together for you. 10 different features that have been implemented in the last few releases in the last 6 months. So that's the agenda. Starting off with the first topic, which is litigation hold. All right, so when it comes to implementing a litigation hold, the process can be quite challenging because your storage administrators have to make sure that it's not just established right, but then it's established at the right point in time when there's a requirement. And like you already know, all companies must by de facto establish a sound retention policy. That's a mandate, right? For all of this to work, it's going to take a lot of time if you were to use the native console. On the other hand, what we've done is we've brought in the ability of your native to Active Directory Manager Plus, where we'll be talking about how to enable litigation hold in just few simple steps, and I'm going to get there and show you how it works. All right, so quickly jumping into my local instance. Yes, so here we are at litigation hold. It is going to be a management task that we are talking about. It's going to be an Office 365 management task that we're discussing. What we're trying to do is we're trying to enforce, or we're trying to enable litigation hold. And how are we planning to do that? AD management, Office 365 management, and enable or disable litigation hold. So this is going to be the first feature that we'll be discussing, the new feature that helps you enable or disable litigation hold on your mailboxes. So this feature is going to come in handy when you want to, probably override your existing retention or deletion rules. So here we are at litigation hold. We've got the list of Office 365 users. All right. From the configure litigation hold option, you can choose to either enable or disable it first. All right. Here it's going to be about enabling litigation hold. And like I told you, you can alter the retention period as per your requirement. It can be either a month's time, it can be for 2 months, 3 months, and even for that matter, a custom time range. So what you'll have to do is just select the duration. Once that's done, And once you've also specified that it's going to be the enable option, you can choose the list of users for who you want to apply the litigation hold. And based on your credentials of Office 365 account, on the background, the product is going to do all the weightlifting and the hard work for you and get your litigation hold established. As simple as that. So we are talking about enabling litigation hold. Let me repeat that once more. AD management, all right? It's an Office 365 management feature, Office 365 management. And again, it's going to be straightforward enable litigation hold. So you pick the users for who you want to establish litigation hold, you choose enable, and then you also choose the retention period. So that's going to be how you enable litigation hold. Likewise, you can also use the same option to disable for somebody who's already got it in place. Click on the same option. So here we are able to see that the litigation hold is enabled for this specific user and this user as well. So I can choose, and I can also choose to disable it for them by choosing this option. So I get to customize it to either enable, being it and making it enabled, or disabled. So that's the first case for today's discussion. That is done. What's the next new cool feature with ADManager Plus? The next one is going to be about adding proxy addresses for your Office 365 users. Yes. So what we've done is we'll start off with Office 365 feature additions and slowly proceed into the next ones. Getting back to the products. So we are going to be talking about adding proxy addresses to your Office 365 users, Office 365 management, and it's going to be adding proxy addresses. Again, straightforward, AD management, Office 365, add proxy addresses. So from this console, you'd get to specify the new proxy addresses and map them to the right set of users for who you want to additionally add that proxy address. So is just SMTP address available? Here, what you can do is you can go ahead, add a proxy address, and you'll be able to see that it's not just your SMTP address, but then even your Exchange Unified Mailbox is also, Exchange Unified Messaging is also available, EUM is also available. So you can get to choose right at the very beginning as to what sort of additional proxy address you'd want to add to your Office 365 account. So you can key in the new email address, your SMTP address. Say for example, you have a common SMTP address for your admin, for your, say for example, your management people, your administrators or your management, office management. Say, let's say housekeeping. So you want that to be added to all of those guys. Yes, you can do that. Workshop.com. You can select that, say okay. All right. With it's important that you specify whether it's primary or secondary SMTP address. So for primary, it's got to be in uppercase SMTP, and for secondary, like you rightly guessed, it's got to be in lowercase. Hitting OK, and then once you're done with that, what you can do is you can select the users for who you want to apply or configure the proxy. It is that simple, that self-explanatory. So we are talking about adding proxy addresses to your existing Office 365 users. I've keyed in the proxy address that's got to be added to the list of users who are available right here. I can choose to add them and hit apply and get going on the go. So we are done with the second management task pertaining to Office 365 management. Let's get back to the presentation and see what's left. All right, so this is what I was talking about. So you can add proxy addresses, just one proxy address for a bulk of Office 365 users in one go. We just saw how to do that. And when it comes to your Exchange mailbox, yes. And when it comes to your user creation, since you already are aware of the fact that ADManager Plus is an tool that lets you do a 360-degree provisioning, create users in Office 365, create mailboxes in Exchange, create app accounts in Google Apps, all of that in one go along with your Active Directory user creation. When it comes to Exchange Mailbox, like I told you, single user creation feature right now has the provision to select your desired database availability group. So that's going to be the latest feature addition in your Exchange Mailbox for your users being created. Quickly jumping back into the product. So we are going to be talking about an exchange management task again. So it's going to be AD management, all right? Office 365 management, and here we are looking to create a DAG for users right at the process of provisioning. So it's going to be user provisioning AD management for Office 365. We just discussed the features on litigation hold, and we also went on to discuss something that is related to Office 365, enabling it or disabling it, and we're going to get into user management, all right, AD management, user management. And since it's going to be something that's pertaining to user creation, simple as that, we'd want to go about creating users. Yes, create a single user. I'm going to go ahead and quickly show you as to what's available with user creation, single user creation. Right here, we're talking about the user creation module where we've got the layout view right in front of us. Quickly getting into the Exchange tab to show you the recent feature addition for database availability groups. So like you already know, DAG is more like a base component for your high availability, be it your site resilience for your a Microsoft Exchange server to work fine. DAG is going to become fundamental. And for this specific feature to work, there's a prerequisite, all right? When it comes to DAG, all the servers within your DAG by mandate have to run on the same version of Exchange. So that's going to be a prerequisite. And when it comes to DAG, how do you choose that? From AD management, when you're creating a single user, from the module that's for Exchange management, you can select mailbox enabled users, and the next obvious step is to select the right DAG by choosing the mail server. Yes, so here we are, we've got the DAG, the database availability group right there for you. And the rest of it is familiar to you. Key in relevant details pertaining to your Exchange, get going. So once you have chosen this, it's there for you. DAG is going to become available for you. All right. When you create your user, when you hit create, your user who's getting provisioned in Active Directory is going to have his DAG in place, his or her DAG in place. So that is about having DAG enabled or provision selected when you're creating single user. So we are talking about AD management, creating a single user, Exchange, and selecting the required DAG. Okay, so we're done with the next feature as well. Let's go ahead with another cool feature, delegation. Yes, when it comes to mailbox delegation, and that too in your Office 365, like we already know, we've got permission to grant full access. We've got permission to send on behalf of a user or send as permissions that are available in your native Office 365 mailboxes. And again, like you know, it can be specific to groups or to users. So we're talking about establishing, yes, permissions for your Office 365 mailboxes. So it's going to be an Office 365 management task, AD management, Office 365 management, and it's going to be about mailbox delegation. So here we are at mailbox delegation. What did we discuss a while back for Office 365 management? A quick refresher. We were talking about enabling and disabling litigation hold. We also spoke about adding proxy addresses. Now, here we are trying to have your mailbox delegated. Mailbox delegation. From the module that's available, since your Office 365 account, admin account is rightly configured, you can go ahead and start with mailbox delegation. you can choose to specify, the permissions that you will have to grant from the checkboxes available right here. If you want to send on behalf, you can select that and grant the permission to the user by adding them. Likewise, you can also choose to add permissions for send as and full access. So it's completely up to you. You get to pick and choose the options for mailbox delegation. It can be all the three, it can be any one of it, up to you. And then next obvious step is for you to select and specify the address that's got to receive the permission. Once you're done doing that, right, you can get to the users list and specify the user for who you want this delegation to work. Say this user right here. You can select that user, key in values right here, enable these checkboxes and hit apply. Your mailbox delegation is done for you. So we're talking about Office 365 management task, AD management, Office 365 management, yes, and it's going to be a delegation that we're talking about. So it's mailbox delegation. And the moment you hit this, we are going to get the provision to choose or configure the kind of delegation that we want to perform. Yes, send as, full access, or send on behalf, and we've got the available list of users right in front of us. You can choose them and hit apply. We're done. All right, so another interesting Office 365 management feature to you. Okay, so when it comes to user creation templates, the fundamental prerequisite for having your users provisioned in your Active Directory, that's there, we already know. But then we are aware of the fact that your user creation templates not only help you create users in AD, but also in Office 365, Skype for Business, and Google Apps. Additionally, on top of creating users, we've also established a new useful feature that's going to help you prevent user creation in your AD if Office 365 licenses are no longer available. So, say for example, we've got 100 Office 365 licenses in our organization. Yes, and all of these 100 licenses have been used up. But by default, all of your new joinees or new users need to have a Office 365 license mapped to their profile or mapped to their AD account. If it's not available, the 100 has been used up. If you try to create users using the user creation template, the product is going to stop you from doing that because there are no Office 365 licenses that you can assign to your AD users. So that is going to give you an upper hand to know that there are no Office 365 licenses. It's time that I either purchase or reallocate my licenses to my new users and then get going with your user provisioning. So that way it saves trouble for you to do the same thing over and over again multiple number of times. So let me quickly get into user creation templates and show you how to prevent you know from users being created when Office 365 licenses are no longer available. So getting back to the product, we are talking about user creation templates. So it's going to be AD management, all right, and user creation templates. AD management and user creation templates. So what are we trying to do right here? We are trying to stop or prevent users from being created in your Active Directory right at the very start if you've run out of O365 mailboxes. So creating a new template to show you how to prevent from creation. So this is a new user creation template. What I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly choose to enable drag and drop. So this is the option that's going to give me the liberty to customize my layout and also at the same time enforce certain conditions inside the layout. So we are talking about altering the layout, the template, to make sure that users don't get created in your AD if Office 365 licenses have run out. So I'm selecting Office 365. I'm going to go ahead and choose to edit the license module. This is where you get to assign a license. Now that I want to make sure that users don't get provisioned when licenses run out, obviously it's going to be user creation templates, enable drag and drop, selecting Office 365 module, and getting into licenses part and choosing to edit it. So here, if you've noticed, there is an additional provision that says license options. So this provision right here is going to help you stop user creation in Active Directory when you enable this, when the license limit is exceeded. So the moment you click OK, what you've done is you've altered the entire user creation template as per your requirement to manage your Office 365 and your AD better by ensuring that the users don't get created in AD when Office 365 licenses have run out. Office 365, yes, click to edit the layout. All right, so clicking to edit the layout and choosing this option that says don't create users in AD if any of the following is selected and the limit exceeds. So I'm clicking OK and that is done. Okay, so you can save the template and go ahead using this template for your user creation henceforth. Okay, so that's another cool feature covered. We're pretty much done with all the new Office 365 and Exchange related features for management. Let's get into Office 365 reporting. Yes, so what did we see? We saw how to enable litigation hold. Yes, and we also saw how to make sure that there are proxy addresses added to your O365 users in one go in a bulk. Yes, in a bulk way, that's done. And then when it came to exchange mailboxes, we saw how to assign a DAG server as a mailbox server when users are getting provisioned in single. We went on to talk about Office 365 mailbox delegation. We saw how to select the level of access. It can be full access, send on behalf, or send as permission, and we got it rightly mapped to the required O365 users. Then the last feature, a while back we were discussing how to customize your user creation template to prevent user creation in Active Directory when Office 365 licenses are not available. So we are pretty much done with Office 365 management tasks. We've also added new features to reporting, Office 365 reporting, like I told you. And what is the new report that's been added? We've got the report for users who've never logged on into your environment. Your never logged on users report for Office 365 is going to help you get a quick overview as to who's not been a part of the game, who's not used Office 365 effectively, or for that matter, who's not logged in at all. So that way, you can go about proactively finding out those people who've not logged on, which means they do not probably have a requirement for Office 365, and go about disabling them or removing them off their licenses. And you can effectively, from an ROI point of view, reassign that license to those users who could probably have better use for the same. All right. So when it comes to the way the entire system works, so be it your AD management, be it your Office 365, be it your Exchange, all of it in an hybrid environment, it's going to be possible to collaboratively work, not a problem at all. In an hybrid environment, yes, all of these features are going to be supported. Just getting back to the product to explain as to how it's going to work, getting back to the product, and let me quickly get into AD management. We're done with AD management. I guess I've given you a quick recap. It was about Office 365 management. We're done right here. Now we have to get into AD reports. We're talking about an Office 365 report. All right, it's going to be a Office 365 report. And this specific report, again, what is it for? This report is going to help you find out the users who've never logged on. So getting back to the product, and this is going to be AD reports, Office 365 reports, and users who never logged on. So be it your generic infrastructure, or be it infrastructure that's got a hybrid environment, it's going to be possible to manage all of that just the same way. So it's going to be AD reports. From here, you'd get to view all those users who've never really logged on to your environment. I'm not really sure at this point in time if I have inactive users or who've never logged on. Let me quickly try and generate. Let's see if there's somebody who's never logged on in my environment. All right, so there's one user who's never logged on into Office 365. That way, now that I've identified the user who's never logged on, I can choose to actually perform a management action on him right away. So what I can do is I can get to AD management. Now that I know that this user has never logged on into, my Office 365, doesn't make sense to grant him the permission or the license. So I'm going to get into Office 365 management once more, and I can choose to remove the license for that specific user who's never really made use of the product. I can choose to remove licenses from the available list of users right here. That's going to give me a list of all those users. A while back I got to understand and figure out that specific never logged on user. Say for example, let's assume this user never logged on. I can select that user, choose to configure the license, and choose to remove all licenses or remove licenses selectively. So that's the beauty of the product. We've not just thought about growing from a management point of view, be it Office 365 or AD. We are also trying to figure out what is your most used case, what is your requirement, and we are trying to figure out and add new features. And one such feature is the one for never logged on users. We saw how to generate a report. We also got into the management module, and you can right away specify that user who's never logged on based on the report that you generate, and choose to remove his license either selectively or all of it in one go. So that is going to be an Office 365 report for you. Likewise, there are a few more Office 365 reports for active sync enabled users, and reports for shared mailbox as well. So let's get back to the product. We are talking about reports. We're talking about Office 365 reports for shared mailboxes, AD reports, Office 365 reports, and a report for your shared mailbox right here. So the moment you hit that, you are going to get a list of all those shared mailboxes in your environment when you hit generate. So pretty much simple, straightforward. You can generate reports for shared mailboxes. Likewise, another critical report that can always come in handy is a report for all those users with active sync enabled. So we're talking about an Office 365 report, AD reports, all right, Office 365 reports, and active sync enabled users. So this is going to give you a view for all those users in Office 365, their details, and also give you whether their active sync is enabled. So we can choose to generate. So here we are having two users in my database who've got Office 365 active sync enabled. So that is how you generate the report. So the best part about the product is what we've done is we've given enough care to ensure that even if a feature is new, the usability is going to be very familiar. You can actually just go about exploring the product all by yourself to figure out what is what. Most of the features are self-explanatory, and the user interface is that easy to handle. So we're done with another Office 365 report. Keep your questions coming in. Thanks for all those questions. I'm trying to answer as many questions as possible. Today we've got a great influx of questions. Great. So what's more to the product? What's more? What have we added newly? What more? So when it comes to workflow module, so we've been discussing about AD management, we've been discussing about AD reports. Let's quickly get into see what's added or what's enhanced in the workflow module. When you're creating requester roles, all this long we had the provision to create requester roles and grant them access to an entire OU. Yes, but then additionally, what we've understood is based on feature requests that we received from customers, we've included something that could be very, very helpful. Is there going to be a possibility to exclude child OUs of a selected OU? Yes, that's definitely going to be possible, and that's the latest feature that we are going to be discussing. Quickly getting back into the product. So we're talking about workflow right here. Like you already are aware of the fact that workflow can help you create requests, have them processed, forwarded to multiple requesters, be it your requester, be it your reviewer, approver. The hierarchy is going to work this way, like you're already aware of how things work. Now what we're discussing is we're trying to have a restriction, a simple restriction in place, or to be precise, we're trying to make sure that the requesters, all right, not get access to the entire organization unit, but then instead they get access to an organization unit, and also at the same time you can have an exclusion for the child OUs in that specific organization units. So we're talking about a requester role that's mapped to a requester. So we are already aware as to how to create requester roles. The moment you map them to requesters, we can get into the requesters module to see how to alter the OU access. So let me quickly select a test user and show you it in action. So let's say there's this specific user right here who's a technician in my workflow module. So he has the provision to raise requests. Let me quickly show you how to edit it. So at this point in time, this specific workflow requester has access to all of the OUs. All right. What do I need to do if I want to establish an OU level restriction, a first level of restriction? I can choose and specify the OU for which he's got to have access. So here, let's say this specific requester can have access just to the employees in United States. So that specific OU alone is going to be under his purview. So all this long, we gave you access to restrict organizational units, restrict his access to just this specific OU. Whatever request that he or she makes, this specific requester, it's going to be based on users or for the users in this specific OU. Excuse me. Additionally, this is the new feature that we've added. This is how we've enhanced your workflow for better operation. This is enabled. Your entire OU is selected. Can I exclude my child OU? Yes, in fact, I can. All I'll have to do is select exclude child OUs, and that is going to ensure that this requester that's right here, the selected requester, has access to the OU, but then does not have access to the child OU. All right. So that's about workflow, the enhancement in workflow. So we're discussing about an enhancement in workflow. We are already aware of the fact that we can have OU level restrictions, but additionally, based on a popular feature request, we've added restrictions or we've added exclusion for child OUs. And how do you do that? Workflow, requesters, select any of your requester, alter the requester's access to your OU, select the required OU, and then when need arises, you can choose to exclude the child OUs. So that's what I'm talking about. So this user, say he's got access to the employees UK OU, and you think that this requester shouldn't have access to the child OUs, you can choose to exclude it and hit OK. So that way you can successfully alter the access that that specific requester has. So that is done. So we're done with another feature enhancement in the workflow module. When it comes to your Link user accounts. What we've done is we've added new policies to the disable delete module, the disable delete policies. We've additionally added support to disabling link user accounts, removing EUM addresses, and also removing direct reports with this specific option, which is disable or delete policy. So where do you find disable or delete policy? We're talking about an administrative level action. So it's going to be obviously under the admin tab. We are trying to understand the new feature that's pertaining to the delete or disable policy. So here, what we are trying to do is we're trying to have the policy configured or altered as per our requirement, which is to disable link user account. So we're talking about that. It's going to be a disable policy. So when the disable action occurs, when that's happening, your AD disabling occurs, you can choose to simultaneously disable link users, and you can also choose to remove your EUM addresses. So this is the enhancement in the disable policy. So all this long we've been giving you access to, disable your exchange mailbox, hide your exchange mailbox address list. Additionally, these two features for Skype and for EUM addresses have also been added. So that's the beauty of the way our team works. We keep adding features as per your requirement. Again, exchange mailbox, that's done. Skype for business, that's done. And your exchanged unified messaging, that is also done. So you can have them disabled right during the process of disabling your AD account. Simple, straightforward, 3 steps. Administrative tab, disable delete policy, get into the disable tab and choose to enable these checkboxes, and you're done disabling them in one go. The next important feature that we can go forward discussing is delegation. We're done with workflow, we're done with management, reporting. Let's quickly get into delegation. All right. So delegation, we are very well aware of the fact that delegation is going to help us create a secure AD environment where we grant selective access to selective roles to technicians. Yes, we've been using delegation in this specific way. We create help desk roles, all right? We map those help desk roles to technicians. That's been the flow all this long. What we've done is we've understood that it's not just going to be a single technician who's going to be needed to map to a role. There are always requirements that an entire group of technicians would be requiring the same level of accesses or the same level of roles. So instead of doing it one after the other, we've put together this beautiful feature where you can actually get into AD delegation, help desk technicians, and choose to add a new technician. And when this module pops up, you would be noticing something new, which is all this long where we had provision to select users, we've also included the provision to select an entire group. So all you'll have to do is have all your technicians put into a specific group and then go about assigning that selected role. That way you get all of the technicians in a specific group mapped rightly to their corresponding help desk roles in one go, and you can save your time by not mandatorily manually going one user after the other and mapping them. So here we are at AD delegation, help desk delegation. The technicians are right here. I had the provision to choose users. That was all I had all this long. But then now there are groups. I can choose to select an entire group and give them access to a specific help desk role. So let's say there is a complete set of group. Let me quickly search for a group and show you how it works. All right, so let's say right here, the group that says help desk is going to be the group where all my help desk technicians are going to be a part of. Instead of manually assigning it to one user after the other, I'm selecting the entire group, saying okay, choosing the required help desk role. All right, from the list of available roles, let's say, for example, the role for help desk technician, hitting OK the moment I hit save, I've granted an entire group or I've delegated the task to an entire AD group besides individual users by establishing this specific fine-grained AD delegation as per my requirement. So that is again done. What are we going to discuss next? The next feature is going to be customized notifications, both email and text notifications for any management action that's pertaining to your Active Directory, Office 365, or Exchange. So, how is it going to be helpful? Say, for example, we've got help desk technicians in your organization, and these help desk technicians have access to ADManager Plus. You've given them access to deprovision user accounts. Say, for example, and unfortunately, what happens is one of those technicians delete a critical account. It's important to make sure that you get notified right away. But if you were not, having the provision to get notified, that could not just go unnoticed, it could cause a critical problem in your organization. So that's where we decided to bring in something new, which is customized email and text notifications for all those management actions in your Active Directory, Office 365, and Exchange, and all of the relevant stakeholders, be it line managers, be it your administrators, be it your technicians. Anybody can be configured to receive notifications right after a management task takes place. So let me quickly show you how to get that specific cool feature. We're talking about sending notifications to stakeholders when a specific management action happens. It can also be the other way around. Leave alone deprovisioning. Let's talk about user creation. What if a rogue employee, say for example, who's got the permission to create users, goes on to create a user into your administrative group? That could be a critical security breach. So you'd want to get notified every single time when a user is modified or created in your administrative group. You can do that. How do you do that? Quickly getting back to the product. We're talking about a specific feature called as notification profiles. Excuse me. So we're talking about an administrative feature that's going to come in handy to help you get notified when a management action happens. So admin tab, right? Since this is going to be a configuration that we'll have to do. So it's going to be under admin tab, notification profile, and from here, you'd get to choose the management action and the corresponding stakeholder who's got to get informed when something's happening in your environment. So, this way, you as the administrator will always get to stay on top of your entire AD infrastructure. So, here, what you'll have to do is you'll have to start off by creating a simple notification template. Like you can see, there are a few already. There's one for user creation. So it says user onboarding notification. This action is going to intimate not just the administrator, but also the new user who is going to get successfully onboarded. So the action is when users are created. The notification template is going to intimate the administrator and the new joinee that they are on board successfully. Likewise, if passwords are reset for your users, they are going to get notified for that as well. So there are multiple management actions for which you can set notifications and receive them. We'll have to start off by creating a simple notification template. So here we are at the notification templates module. So here are a few templates. One for user creation where admin gets notified. All right. One for user onboarding. It notifies the new user with a welcome note upon their logon and along with their logon credentials. General notifications for any of the management action. A notification for resetting password. Can we create new templates? Yes, that's definitely going to be possible. Hitting on create a new template. So here we've got the module from where we can select the type of notification. It can be your email, your SMS, or both. You can have text messages, you can have emails delivered, or you can choose both. Once that's done, you can customize the address to which the notification has to be delivered. You can either choose from the list of available email addresses from your environment, or you can choose to manually type as well. Key in a subject for that, select a message. You can also choose to have an attachment in place, the whole thing said as a PDF, Excel, or a HTML. Yes, so you can create a simple profile. Once that profile creation is done, notification profiles, we're talking about creating notification profiles. Once that's done, we'll have to map that specific notification template to the right set of users. That is also done. Notification templates. Yes, we created a simple notification template. The next option is to select the notification profile. So here we've got it right there for you, user creation or password reset examples right there for you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly show you how to, how the whole thing works. So here we have the criteria or the action that's got to happen for this notification to get triggered. This is a user creation notification, so the corresponding action is going to be user creation, and the template which has the email ID and the subject and the messages right here. So in simple terms, for you to understand, for clarity's sake, notification templates are nothing more than your email templates or your SMS template, and notification profile is going to be the module from where you select the logic or the action and the relevant reaction. So the action is going to be user creation, the reaction is going to be picking the notification template and having it delivered to the user or administrator as per your notification template. So what are we discussing? We're talking about an administrative level feature, a notification profile for any management action in your Office 365, AD, Exchange, any of that. We started off by creating a simple notification template. Notification template is nothing more than a template for your email or for your SMS. Simple as that. Showing you a simple user creation template. We've got the name of the template, we've got the description, the category, the notification channel, the person who's got to receive the notification, and the notification message as well, along with the attachment that's got to go along. Once that's done, you can hit save. You can get back to the notification profile right here. The template is done. Choose to create one or choose to edit something that's already existing. Say for example, user onboarding notification, we'd get to see what's the whole flow in it. Once that's done, we can go about sending out notifications to our users for any management action that is in progress, be it user creation, be it password reset. So let me quickly show you password reset before we get to the next one. Yeah, so it says password reset, get notification when the user resets password. The action obviously is reset password, and the template is the one that I created for reset passwords with the user rightly mapped. So whichever user's password is reset, that's the user who's going to receive this notification. So that's the beauty of the product. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to fundamentally keep you abreast, keep you on top of your entire AD environment, figure out not just ways to manage it, but also to effectively manage it. That's the idea. So that's done. The last new feature addition that I'd want you to take note of is integrations that we are offering. So ADManager Plus as an application, we've been not just growing depth wise, we've been not just giving you more features for AD. We've understood the fact that integrations are critical for any environment, and that too for something as fundamental and important as your Active Directory management. When it goes hand in hand with your ITSM solution, with your help desk software, it's going to be all the more empowering. So we are trying to figure out ways to get your service now as well as service desk plus a native offering from manage engine integrated with AD management actions. So how do you get hold of this integration? If you're somebody who is using ServiceNow all you'll have to do is get into the ServiceNow store, the ServiceNow store, look up for the ADManager Plus plugin, a simple ADManager Plus plugin that's going to grant you access to perform critical AD management tasks right from within your ServiceNow console. That sounds interesting, right? That's the whole deal. What we're trying to do is we are trying to extend the AD management capability of a high TL disk software like ServiceNow. Under integrations, you would be able to find ADManager Plus on top. So here we are at the ServiceNow store, looking out for the ADManager Plus plugin. It's going to be from the integrations, and let's look up. So here we have ADManager Plus. So all you'll have to do is get into your ServiceNow account, choose this ADManager Plus plugin, get going managing your AD right from your ServiceNow. So at this point in time, we've got support for user creation with the same set of templates that are available inside ADManager Plus. So that's the beauty of it, along with password resets, enabling users, disabling them, unlocking user accounts, and also deprovisioning. So your entire user lifecycle, 360-degree user provisioning, user account access management, and password management as well. So all those critical AD management tasks can be accessed from your IT help desk software. Yes. So for those of you who want to get hold of how to go about doing this specific task, what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly share with you the link. All right, the link for the video tutorial that's going to give you access to get the same integration in place. Give me one quick moment and let me share that to you on the chat. So if you want to set up, if you're somebody who's using ServiceNow, you can get going with this tutorial that's available for you to have it integrated. What more, from a security point of view, ADManager Plus, given the criticality of the application, we've added two-factor authentication. We are currently supporting Duo Authenticator, Google Authenticator, yes, and email authentication as well, OTP email authentication as well. So how you get to enable two-factor authentication? Straightforward. Get into your AD management console. All right, so we're talking about a two-factor authentication feature to ensure that be it your help desk technicians or be it your administrator have access right after specifying the two-factor or meeting the two-factor authentication. So it's going to be under AD delegation, two-factor authentication, both for your technicians and for your administrators. The moment you hit enable, two-factor authentication is good to be configured. Duo security, Google Authenticator, and OTP. All of that is available. So that's about the new security feature that we've added, which is two-factor authentication. And the best part is we are not just extending the product for the desktop instance for your ADManager Plus on-premise instance. We are going forward extending capabilities such as user creation for your ADManager Plus mobile application as well. So you can choose to download mobile application for ADManager Plus. We're talking about mobile active directory management. We've got the applications up for both Android and iOS right there for you. That's there. So you can choose to download the Android or the iOS app and get going with your AD management tasks on the go. So that is about it. So AD management, AD reports, and workflow, all of it accessible from your iOS or Android app. All right, so that's going to be a wrap on today's session. We are looking forward to hear from you as to what more features would you want us to discuss about. Is there a new feature request that you have? Just feel free to drop a message to me on the chat right now. I'm available to take all your questions. And if in case you want a copy of today's presentation, that can be arranged as well. I can have it inbox. Just give me your email address and I can have it inbox. Thank you for being such a wonderful audience. Looking forward to meet you many more times. This is Jay, your presenter for the day. You all have a great day. Bye bye.